But when you focus on just one area of your life and you hyperfixate on it, you're neglecting other areas.
Oh, yes.
But what I was becoming addicted to was from people like validation.
Yes, okay, that one.
It's the validation. Within all of this, right? That's when holistic wellness came together. It started as just mental health.
Okay.
Right? But when you focus on just one area of your life and you hyperfixate on it, you're neglecting other areas.
Oh, yes.
And I was hyperfixating on it because at the end of the day, my problem is addiction. Now, when you're an addict, and I hate that word, but when you are an addict, you will always be an addict. Yeah? And it is easy to get, it's just the way of an addict, to become addicted to anything.
Oh, yes.
So I got I hyperfixate.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the deeper I got into it, I was like, okay, mental health is too limiting. Yeah? Now let's look at holistic wellness. There are 8 areas that make up a human. Your spiritual, your physical, your social, your intellectual, your financial, your occupational, environmental. There are 8 areas, right? So I started to use that particular framework, right? Now, when I started to use that framework, I was being heard some more. Mm-hmm. So then now I was like, oh. And I got so excited with it that I started to hyperfixate on that, on the holistic wellness, neglecting everything else.
So now this became the only thing that made sense.
Yeah, because I'm being heard. And I like it.
Yes.
I like that I'm being heard. And as an addict, I'm a recovering addict. Yeah. That's what was being fed. It's like an addiction even.
So now you're in a way becoming addicted to this now.
Yes.
So you're now losing control of everything else.
Yeah, but what I was becoming addicted to was from people liking validation.
Yes, okay, that one.
It's the validation.
Okay, so now you feel like the world resonates with you again. Like you are able to sit amongst people and feel like one of them over again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Here now, we're looking at you creating not a whole new you, but summarizing down to what it is that you want to be the you that goes forward, right? So the whole concept of new year, new me here, in your situation, as I understand it, is like you have the whole dish right in front of you. Like all the dimensions of holistic wellness are there. You know what they are, right? Yeah. In the end, what you were panicking on prior to this was that you want all 8 to be active at the same time.
Yes. Yeah.
So now you've toned it down to say, I want to build these and I want all 8 to be active, but currently we will narrow down to these 3 first. Yeah. So when these 3 start working, then we push forward to another, maybe we add 1 more and then 1 more until all 8 are aligned, right?
So not entirely. So the 3 that I'll be focusing on, right? Yeah. It's still going to be holistic wellness that I'll be doing, but it's about the way that I'll be doing it. Okay. Right? So, in terms of the 3, number 1 is corporate wellness. Okay. Yeah. So corporate wellness programs. That's something that I've been speaking about for so long, but it's finally launching, there's finally like a way forward, and then keynote speaking. Okay. Yeah. I already do that, but then just building on that portfolio. And then, thirdly, is the counseling. Okay. The one-on-one. Okay. Yeah, the counseling and the coaching. Okay. One-on-one. So those are areas that are comfortable for me to do right now. Mm-hmm. Now, within those 3, I am still able to do holistic wellness. I'm still able to use my knowledge in those areas, right? Okay. But then now where it comes to me in my life, right? I'm no longer saying, okay, in each and every dimension of my life, right? I don't believe in balance anymore because I cannot have 8 areas all perfect.
Oh, yes.
The way I envision them. You know, I cannot have, I'm just can't do it right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I believe in more like, just like harmony. You know, I'm okay with focusing on my son at this stage in my life because, so that's social, my social dimension. Because he's 4 years old, he needs me, I'm a single mom.
Where we come down to now prioritizing, like, whilst we have gone through the idea of like the whole mess of you trying to tell yourself to say, okay, this is 2025, new year, new me. I want to do this. I want to do better. I want to become this and that. All that in place, right? We're still trying to keep mind of the things that matter. Because as you've pointed out already, to say that whilst there is so much going on, you can't grip onto everything at the same time, right? So which means you need to grip onto the things that matter, and then you prioritize downwards, where now you, if it's time, for example, then you put the time appropriately to say, we need to eat, so we need to be at the job. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean we only occupy the job because there is son here who needs the attention of mom. And at the same time, there is family that is running a whole empire that requires a bit of your attention within it. Because to start with, you have certain skills that they don't have to pay somebody to do. One. And two, I feel like it goes without saying that each one of us is looking for a purpose in life. And without that purpose is where now we spin off, because we want to get validation every way. So here now we are at priority. And as the year is beginning, I for one, like, I have this thing that I've been reciting to myself to say, it's not about me creating a new me, but rather it's about me building on the me that was me yesterday. Because no matter how many times we're going to change the dates, no matter how many times the years are going to pass by, I am still going to be me. And if I don't do anything about the me that I don't like, then it's going to be the outcomes will not change. So the part where I don't see the realistic state of one saying new year, new me, new resolutions and whatnot, without having to go back, like the way you've gone back to say that you kept on spinning off because everything else just seemed important. Like, I can't say important per se, but you felt like you have to dabble in everything at the same time. So the moment you spin off, and then having already gone through a rough patch of like recovering from a whole drug and substance abuse, this is like, you're just confusing yourself all over again. Right? So the loop doesn't end. If it's like today you wake up with an easy mind, and then the moment you get on the street and you start doing this, that, the moment all these things, like these things might be productive, right? But then the moment they become overwhelming, you let go of everything, and then you spin back into that little dark hole that you were in, right? So this comes in as one of the key factors of the flame of fortune. Because the flame of fortune is not just about people making money, right? I don't want people to misunderstand this whole thing, because people will then start expecting me to give them solutions to them on how they could make money. Or maybe somebody will tune in and then they'll be like, okay, so when do we start making the money? But believe me, like I have heard this from too many people that even I have seen it on my own to say, money comes. Fix you first, right? Because first and foremost, it's where you place yourself that brings the money. I had a conversation one of these days with a friend who asked me a question to say, okay, we know you're doing a self-development podcast. We know like you're doing this whole motivational stuff, but what is it that you're trying to deliver? Right? Yeah. And I was really intrigued that this guy really wanted to hear this because he literally said, I've got the time. Explain. Tell me. Tell it to me. Yeah. And I sort of froze for a little bit, but then I just told him to start to say, initially, what I really want for people to understand is that the flame of fortune is about habit. The forces of habit are something really strong because today you might not think certain, like, we downplay bad habits, right? Yeah. We downplay bad habits that we say it's nothing. It's just today, just once, just twice, the third time, and that's it. And then as it continues and develops into something that actually holds you back, only up until it holds you back from something significant is when you go, I think this is off. Yeah. But at this point, you're so deep into it that going back is difficult. I'll give an example to say, we see people going into the gym. Yeah. People who go into the gym don't go into the gym because they want to go. They just want to go into the gym, right? It becomes a habit. Yes. But in the first place, you have to create it. Yeah. Because for starters, with our normal daytime, like when we put together work, family, when we put all those things into one time frame, and then the spaces that remain are usually spaces where we're super exhausted or we're so pumped to go party or to go have the fun, to go play, To go have the fun, yeah. Yeah, because we're out here working and hustling and doing all these things. Yeah. And to a certain extent, we then start feeling like, I can't just be doing this just to keep on suffering and sleeping and whatnot. I need to enjoy myself. So then you find somebody who is going through a tight schedule altogether, but is still finding time to go in the gym and work out. Yeah. Right? Yeah. The practical steps of 2025, right? Upgrade, not overhaul. Right? Like trying to let people know to say, it's not about you creating a whole new you, right? But rather looking at the areas that you don't like about 2024 and then saying, I want to do better in these areas. Because sometimes we are disappointed in ourselves by the failures and we want to drop the whole project when all we needed to do was to move a small piece. And then we create a whole new image. Like at this point, it looks new because of the change that has happened, but it's the same thing, just being implemented in a different way. So in your situation, like, how do you look at this?
Let me just break it down. Mm-hmm. So I'll start at the top, right? The way I want to approach life is I want to be. Like I want to be being instead of doing. Mm-hmm. Now I'm saying being instead of doing because this year I've been doing too much doing. Mm-hmm. Right? Now I want being. Yeah, I want to just be a human being. Mm-hmm. Not just trying to prove myself. Like, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yes.
But like, if you're going to look at me, like, then I should be doing things that make me feel like I'm doing something that's part of my purpose. 1, 2, 3.